Hey, it's Travis, and this is Travis Does Kayak Fishing. It's me. I just want to talk to you for a minute about fishing, and one of the most common questions I think people ask for, they Google search, they just want to know, and it's how to catch bigger fish, or why you're not catching fish, right? Technically, there's two, so we'll go into both of them real fast and just talk about why I think we go through these periods when we're new to fishing or struggling, that we go into these slumps and it takes us a while to figure out what it is, and we don't always directly figure out what the resolution is. Sometimes it just happens, and I think I can articulate that a little to you and explain exactly why we struggle sometimes to catch big fish or fish at all. So let's get into it. I just want to talk to you for a few minutes and then I'll let you go. First off, why are you not catching them? While there could be a variety of reasons, none of them that you're told are true. It's not that the fish aren't there. It's not that they're not biting in most cases. It's not because it's just not your day. There's probably something you're doing different, and it can be other people's days. That's not to say the greatest angler in the world won't strike out. You know the saying, everybody does. However, what it is saying to you is maybe you're not being a very good angler on the water. Get this cattail out of my face. Maybe you're being loud. Have you ever watched Major League Fishing or any other very skilled angler? They're not doing long bombing casts that are generating wake that's the equivalent of boat weight coming through for the fish. They're not doing these wild way out casts. They're doing a lot of roll casts, a lot of skips, a lot of pitches, a lot of flips, a lot of really quiet stuff that doesn't spook the bigger, older bass who know the difference between the sound of fish falling into the water or bait coming their direction versus a half an ounce football jig creating a splash that's the equivalent of a small brick being thrown in the water. You have to have good process and technique. You need to make sure your casting's on point. You need to make sure you're quiet. That doesn't mean you can't talk. Your voice doesn't scare away the fish. You dropping your multi-tool, your 5-pound multi-tool, onto your deck mat, I'm exaggerating on 5. Hopefully you don't have more than a half a pound or so multi-tool. But that sound is loud. That's a sonar thump that hits and goes underneath the water. And the fish see that. They feel that. They know that's there. And they know if that's natural or not. The smart fish do. The ones are after, the ones we're not catching, they do. They feel that and they know that. When people say be quiet while fishing to catch fish, they're not talking about, telling your buddy in the kayak next to you that, hey, I think they're going to hit this or this looks like a good spot. They're talking about you splashing the water with your lure. They're talking about you getting hung up on that laydown and shaking and vibrating and just yanking that lay down aggressively to try and get your lure, instead of doing it tactically and being smart and sound about your approach in retrieving that lure, because you don't want to compromise the fishing spot for the smart fish. That's fine if you're okay with catching 12-inch dumb spots all day that'll eat anything you tie on. You could take a holly leaf, put a jig through it, fish it through the water, and if there's a spot in the area, cast it enough, they're gonna hit it. But if you want a big fish, if you want a good fish, you want a fish that's worth sharing without long arming in the photo, I really think the option you want to go with is focusing on yourself and not what the fish are doing or not doing. That is important. Understanding processes, and that, hey, bass can be as particular as hanging up on the third dock post of every dock out on the second point in this creek. That can be beneficial to know. But the most important thing you can do is focus on how you're presenting your lure to that fish. Maybe it's the color. Maybe it's the fact that you threw that color like a football into where he's living at and he's waiting to ambush a bait, and that don't sound right. So I'm going to sum it up. It's very simple. If you're not catching big bass, I would recommend, 1, You change the area you're going to. If you're a static creature, move around some, hit different points, find other laydowns, try and see how the bass are behaving. Are they just feeding out in deep? Are they hanging off a ditch? If you don't have sonar, there's a certain sect of bass. They stay up shallow year round. You don't have to pull out, but you have to figure out how to attack bass in a tactical, in a stealthy, in a process-driven way that's duplicatable. This cast is striking me that can be duplicated, and that the fish will go for. Pitch, roll cast, be quiet, improve your form. If you do this, I promise more than watching 1,000 these 5 lures will catch fish videos, because if you watch those, you're going to go insane. Improving your process, your technique, your focus, all of these buzzwords, that's going to catch you more fish in the end. Thanks for coming. I hope this was an enjoyable video. I hope my buddy here, Meat, put on a good show for you guys. That's my little dude. He's a stray we picked up, and he's great. So, yeah, y'all have a good one. Later.